All right, here's my evaluation of the foundation situation here. So first we'll just kind of talk about stormwater. So this is sloped in and then we got a gutter dropping down. So it's taking about half that roof and putting it all right there. The foundation wall is under that brick there, but it's kind of funneling it in. The other gutter over here is pretty much the same thing. Actually, while I'm here, around kind of this portion of the foundation in the basement, there is one little dig out where water's kind of running through under the foundation, washing it out. It's not too bad. Mostly this kind of whole corner is fine on the foundation. This is the worst spot for some reason. Water, and it could be from this gutter. That's definitely not helping. In fact, that would definitely, we need to route that somewhere else. But kind of under here, I'll show you, there's a river going under the foundation. There's really not a whole lot of natural stormwater, being trapped here. It's not like there's a big hill washing into this wall, so it's not a ton of stormwater, but it's enough to cause problems. Also, the foundation report talks about repointing. I mean, maybe a little spot like that, but I don't see anywhere that it really needs to be repointed other than a couple places where it's eroded really bad, like in this corner. That I could see needing to be repointed and kind of jamming some rocks under there and re-securing it. But other than that, there's really not much to be repointed. So now first, this back wall is really pretty much fine. I mean, a little bit wet, but the soil's probably fine. And then that corner we were just talking about when we were outside, this is kind of this whole side. So you'll see where it's washing out right here real bad. I wonder if I can turn on yeah. Right here it's washing out real bad, and you'll see all this kind of like silt here. It's not normal dry dirt, it's silt from outside. And then here's the crazy thing, there's a river just going under this foundation. So it kind of starts around up there and it's just eroding, just taking the soil. And it's not even taking the soil next to the foundation, it's just directly under it. I thought it had something to do with these pipes, but I think it's just that these were dug out, so that was the easiest way for the water to escape. So over time, it kind of created a river, and now there's a whole kind of valley there. So we got this whole silt situation all working its way to the sump pump, but by the time it gets to the sump pump, it doesn't matter. It's already taken the soil with it under the foundation, and it's kind of moot. So there's a couple areas here of foundation eroding. Not too bad over here, honestly. Now, the worst pier, since I'm over here, I'll talk about it. The worst pier is this right here. It's not supporting anything. A lot of these piers are okay. I'll talk about the floor system more in a second. So here's the spot. I don't know if you can tell really, my light kind of does a glare. We're over kind of in this corner here. This is where soil is starting to chunk out, and you can see there's kind of a hill at the bottom where this is fallen out. So that is concerning. As that continues over the years, you're starting to lose all the soil under the foundation. I mean, it's very, very slow, very slow. I mean, decades probably before that really becomes an issue that affects the foundation, but it's not something you want to wait on. Another spot there. But otherwise, this corner is kind of all right. There's a little bit of kind of silt down here, but it's nothing like the other side. And I mean, it's not a whole lot of water moving in. Just kind of redirecting gutters outside might be enough to reduce that. Now let's talk about the floor system. This thing is just whack. It's kind of hanging by a thread. The floor system is failing. I'll put it that way. It's in a few areas it's okay. I mean, we got like a girder coming through here, and then we got joists going off of it. But the girder doesn't keep coming over. It like staggers over to here and goes from there. And then this one has kind of like shrunk off and pulled nails out, so it's not even working on that one. And then you can see that these girders are like, or these joists here are like angled. It's almost like it was hooked onto this girder right here, and then this one shrunk back and pulled them with it. So or maybe it's just a bad fix job, I don't know. But we've got all these jack stands holding up, and they're doing okay. I mean, the inspection report, he said that they're gonna fail, but they're definitely bearing weight. I mean, there's no wiggle at all. They're very sturdy, so they're bearing weight, maybe a few thousand pounds, who knows how much. But several of these 6x6s, this might even be an 8x8, probably 6x6, you can see it's compressing that joist. See how it's just squishing it up? And some of that's because the joist is compromised. Well, actually, that's a girder. It's compromised because it's so old. But some of it is just an unbelievable amount of pressure right in that spot, and it's not getting help from other areas. There's nothing else to lift the house other than kind of this right here. These jack stands probably aren't lifting as much. So the floor system is kind of the big question mark for me. I would think an engineer would need to look at that and see what would be where the load bearing points are, and then put in posts for there. He says to replace, well, the original inspection says to replace some areas, but and he just says how, you know, put in rebar, footing, blah, 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 but he doesn't say which posts and which ones are most important, which ones are failing. I mean, it's really not that helpful. So for the posts, I would really just recommend replacing probably this one and put like a metal plate at the top that catches more of that around it, a nice thick metal plate that can bear the load, and then replace that one over by the stairs. And other than that, I wouldn't really mess with it down here because it kind of needs to be all redone and have somebody say where the load bearing points are, pour footers here, put in pillars here, and just make it stronger again. But even that, I mean, it's failing, but it's slowly failing, and it could probably hack along for another few decades or whatever. It's not, you know, it's not about to collapse. I should say there are a few places where the joists and girders are notched, but it's nothing too major. Like this HVAC here, they just punched into the side of the girder like it wasn't serving any purpose. So I don't know, I hate when people do that.